So just to recap, in DREAM research, we're just basically discussing, is it worth spending any time on this potential future to invade? We don't even have a problem statement yet. We're just saying, is it worth spending any time on this? Next up, we can start determining weighted shortest job first scores, because we now have properly formatted problem statements and potential solution proposals, and we can now start voting about these things to say, which one of these will rise to the top at this point in time based upon the information we have right now? And the ones which rise to the top in terms of problem statements are the ones which are going to get the innovative capacity to hold workshops so that we can go and figure out what a potential MVP might be. We do the inch deep, mile wide view of features, risk-based angle of attack, and a view about, we can get something like this in about that much time, for about that much money, but in a more detailed level. And once for those which we've decided we're going to do the workshops and we're going to determine potential MVPs, there's going to be ones that rise to the top now based upon more understanding. So at each one of these phases, we do the weighted shortest job first discussions again, because we're gaining more information and more understanding, about which potential futures to invade, until we get to a prioritized list of MVPs which have been well defined and we are ready to start our invasion. Okay, and these ones are basically waiting for innovative capacity, because we want to focus, if we can, on one thing at a time. If we have put the maximum amount of innovative capacity onto something and we believe that adding more people will just cause chaos and confusion and there'll be just too many hands trying to do too little work, then we can tackle the next invasion in parallel. But you have to be very careful what you allow to happen in parallel, as we saw earlier in this lesson. And for those that are ready and we have capacity, massive force, economy of force, we start risk-based angle of attack, and we're tackling the riskiest stuff first. So if this thing isn't going to work, we can quickly can it if we need to, hopefully before 20% of budget has been used up. We can say this is not going anywhere, the feasibility and viability is not panning out, we should refocus and rather do project B or C, whichever one is the next in terms of highest priority, in terms of MVP, if we can get this in about that much time for about this much money. Again, at each one of these points, the goal is not to have perfect information. The goal at each one of these stages is to have enough information to say this one before that one, this one before that one. The point is not perfect information. The point is to be able to act fast, decide fast, using appropriate tools at this point in time so that we can make a decision about what we're going to be doing next. So, in terms of military strategy and tactics, we've really hit upon a lot of them in this lesson, because we're creating unity of command. Why are we creating unity of command? Well, because everyone has the opportunity to vote. Everyone who has a say or a stake in what happens next. And we're creating unity of command by everyone getting a voice. And everyone getting an opportunity to champion what it is they believe the organization should tackle next. But once a decision has been taken, it has been taken. Okay? So this is part of creating unity of command, clarity of focus. Next up, we are definitely applying massive force and economy of force, because we're using our decision-making capacity and ability and process to focus our innovative capacity in what has got the greatest possible value next. Okay, simplicity. Doing just the right amount of information in the right format, in the right depth, at the right amount of time, so that we can take a decision between A, B, or C. Not perfect information, we need to be able to take decisions. Okay? So, and by doing this, by making effective use of massive force and economy of force in terms of our innovative capacity, we're setting ourselves up to be on the offensive. Okay? We dictate what happens in the marketplace, in the battle. We're leading. We're able to surprise the enemy. Okay? If we try to do too many things and they're too bloated and they're not minimal viable products, we're not going to be surprising anyone. We're not going to be on the offensive. We are going to be surprised the whole time. Okay? So doing these things are critical to be able to be on the offensive and be able to surprise the enemy. Force protection. Where does force protection come in? This is slightly different to what we discussed about before in terms of test cases and knowledge sharing and so forth, and systems and being able to, DevOps essentially being able to roll things out and roll them back and so forth. The force protection we're talking about here is what about the champion for C, in this case, problem statement C. They scored a 3.5. So does this mean they failed? Not at all. The only thing that they can do is put together the best business case they can, the best problem statement and potential solution definition they can, backed by whatever the best qualitative and quantitative information that they can get their hands on to present to the organization to do. And that is, they've done their job then. If they've done that to the best of their ability and to the reasonable agreement of others that they couldn't have done a better job of presenting this, whatever it is, in a better light, then they've done their job. The fact that there are other futures which are better to invade right now does not mean they have failed. Okay? So the organization deciding unity of command together, that these are the things we're going to do, and this is we're not going to do, that does not mean that that person failed. If they have presented it in as good a light as possible, they have succeeded. And they should now focus on either finding another cause to champion or part of delivering the ones that have been prioritized. So this joint decision making and openness and clarity and robust discussion, that robust discussion is protection for those whose initiatives are not being promoted. Good. And in maneuverability, of course, being able to change your tack in terms of we're not going to go for A, we've started A, we haven't started B, and therefore it's easy for us to say let's rather move to C instead of doing B. So by doing just the right thing at just the right time, we're giving ourselves a great maneuverability to be able to adapt to what is happening around us in the marketplace and as we're pursuing these different invasions of the future. It was a great lesson. Thank you. I look forward to the next one.